Time to shine. Today podcast, Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson, and I got the voluntary disruptor himself. This man's been featured on Fox Business. He's been featured on just the who's who of the if you want to disrupt. So the man is awesome. His name's Eric Silverman. He's considered one of the most recognized authorities and disruptive forces in the enhanced employee-funded benefits. So it's formerly known as Voluntary. Widely known as a subject matter expert with nearly 20 years of employee benefits sales, marketing management, and recruiting experience, he's often sought after and interviewed by various industry journalists and is routinely asked to deliver keynote speeches and speak on various panels at many national industry-wide conferences. So Eric, thanks for coming on, brother. Please come on and introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today Varsity Squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Orange, Baltimore Orioles. That's easy.
And orange is like a fun color too, man. You know, it's funny, like Baltimore, I wore number 8, you know, because I played baseball at kind of a level, and wore number 8 for 2 people, Cal Ripken and Gary Carter. Those are my 2.
Yeah,
I'm a product of the 80s, so they both wore number 8. So, man, I really appreciate you coming on, brother.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's get to a little bit of the origins of Eric. Like, where'd you start and then kind of move into this voluntary disruption, brother?
Yes. So, I started when I was 18, 19 years old in college as an intern by accident in the insurance and employee benefits world. I thought I was getting an hourly job to work just for a marketing internship. And one thing led to another. And the guy, I don't want to say it was bait and switch, but maybe it was. He kind of started saying, hey, let me teach you how to sell insurance of all things. And, you know, I promise there's nothing sexy about insurance. I never dreamt of selling insurance. And I actually did well. I liked it. Personable, outgoing, people person. And one thing led to another. Graduated college in 2002, started my own independent agency. Went on to become the largest agency in the country with the carrier I was representing at the time. We were doing $12 million a year in insurance premiums, which for our line of the industry is pretty much the top you can get. And I just had a blast. So it was really an accidental position.
Love it. So what was the fork in the road moment? The person that just kind of said, hey, you're built to sell?
Not exactly. It was it really was just an accident. I mean, I was bored to tears helping him file claims and doing administrative, secretarial, receptionist type work. So, and I was making a couple bucks an hour, and I said, hey, I don't want to do this. I want to do what that guy's doing. He was a sales marketing intern. And my mentor or leader at the time said, well, you know, that's commission only. And I was like, I don't care. What do I have to lose? I'm living in an apartment in college. I don't need to make much money. So I gave it a shot and started enjoying it and doing well. And here we are 21 years later and just kicking ass and having a lot of fun.
Yeah. What kind of insurance?
So we're regulated by the quote unquote health insurance industry, right. But I'm not a health insurance advisor or broker. I don't sell health insurance. So you wouldn't call me if you were interested in getting a standard old fashioned Blue Cross plan. I am the guy that helps round out the total employee benefit package. The benefits that I specialize in are typically known in the industry as quote unquote voluntary insurance or voluntary benefits. So disability, life, dental, vision, and a whole slew of other different programs that are really important to have in addition to health insurance. But I frankly hate the word voluntary. I think it's the shittiest word ever. I don't know if I can curse here. Sorry about that.
You can do whatever you want.
But you said you were on satellite at some point. So the funny thing is, it's just a dumb term for the industry. So I'm single-handedly for the last many years trying to rename the industry from voluntary insurance to what I call enhanced benefits. And the reason being is everything we do is just designed to fill in and enhance and complement a major medical health insurance plan. And let's just be honest, right? Everything we do in life is voluntary. It's voluntary for you to have me on your show. It's voluntary for me to be here. It's voluntary for somebody to get insurance. It's voluntary for them to put a dollar in the vending machine and get a soda, for heaven's sakes.
Absolutely.
The voluntary benefit term is stupid because everything is voluntary.
Got it. So is that the whole Disruption is want to change it to enhance benefits. Is that what the basis of voluntary disruption is, Eric?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, like when I created my business logo, I told my graphic artist person my story, and she had one of her. I don't know if you know how a lot of companies like Amazon and Wendy's, they have subliminal messages in their logos.
Mom and
So
FedEx.
I'm not. There you go. Exactly.
Right,
FedEx
right.
with the arrow.
Yeah.
I'm not that creative, but she was able to subtly do one for me. So in the word voluntary disruption logo, if anybody's curious, they check it out. You'll see a subtle thin line across the word voluntary, and that's on purpose because she's crossing out the word voluntary.
Love that, dude. I'm looking at it right now, and
So subtle.
Squad, go to voluntarydisruption.com. So if I'm at a networking event, which here in South Florida, we're able to do a little bit in press and flesh, but most of it, like yourself, a lot of Zoom in and stuff like that. What are people saying to me that would maybe make them a good prospect, referral connection for voluntary disruption?
So great question. Yeah, I mean, the reality is I don't have a direct to market sales team. So for the better part of 15 years, I hired and trained thousands of interns and salespeople all across the United States to quote unquote sell our programs and services. And that was fantastic. But ultimately, I got sick of running an adult daycare center, bud. The reality is it was I made a lot of money, did a lot of great stuff, had fun, but it was a pain in the ass. So
when babysitting all the time, right?
Oh my God, it's truly an adult daycare center.
Yeah.
So when I left that line of the industry and wanted to do something a little bit different, I said I wasn't going to hire any more salespeople. So instead of me going direct to the employer, because everything we do is employer focused through business owners and to round out their benefit package, now I don't go to employers. My team and I, we go direct to the people that do that, i.e. the health insurance brokers, the people that have a client roster, a book of business. They are typically the experts on health insurance, but they will admittedly and candidly tell me very clearly that they suck at the things that I do. And good news, I suck at the things they do. So it becomes a terrific partnership. So we have clients in almost every state. We have partners in almost every state. So a partner for me is really just anybody that has the ear of a C-suite executive.
Love it. And I love it that there's that reciprocation between the two kind of parties where, you know, you suck, they suck, you're good, they're good, and you guys can work that off of each other. So what would you call yourself then? Are you a consultant or a consultant?
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, you can call me a tomato. I don't care what you call me, but I guess the industry would call me a broker. We're a broker's broker. So we help the insurance industry brokers who go direct to market. We help them. So in essence, we're a broker's broker.
Your broker's broker. Got it. So what, like your family's military, everybody, you know, is kind of military. You went to college. What do they think about kind of the choice you made to go out? And at first you weren't big. Now you're bigger and you're growing expeditiously or exponentially. What do they think about that?
Now they love it, but then they hated it. I'm what's the old saying? Everybody who never went to the military, they've told you this a million times. I'm a lover, not a fighter, right?
Right.
I'm not a lover. I'm not a fighter either. I'm just a business person who likes to make a lot of money. And the reality is, my family went into the military. I chose to go the business route. When I started as a college intern and started doing well, it was fine. After I graduated, my dad said to me, "Hey, when are you going to get a real job?" And what he means by that is go get a W-2 paycheck from somebody who wants to trade dollars for time and vice versa. I had no interest in that. I said, "Oh, I have a real job. I have my own business and I'm going to continue to grow it and build my agency outside of college, sign my own lease, hire some people, you name it." He thought I was flipping crazy. But within a couple of years or less, he was asking me to buy him a truck after he realized that I did the right thing and I was making a lot of money. So then not so much, but now it's good.
I love it. I love it. So like if you've trained thousands of interns, so you're a leader and you're subconsciously probably like the leadership is kind of in you just because of all the military that's in your background. So what to you, Eric, makes a great leader?
If you asked me that question a decade ago, I would have given you an entirely different answer.
Sure.
When I started in management, leadership, whatever you want to call it, hiring people, I was a totally different person than I am today. So back then I would have, my answer would have been something to the effect of, a great leader, a cliche, true stuff, but lead by example, and all the nonsense that you hear, which I agree is true.
True, right.
But at the end of the day, I was kind of an asshole back then. Like I was more of a tyrant leader. I was more of a get your shit done. Everybody's replaceable type person. Sure. You don't need to be here. Get out. I'll find somebody else. And over the years, I guess I've become soft with my old age. I've grown into a different type of leader. So I don't like the cliche servant leadership, but at the end of the day, I value my people now more than I ever did. And that's probably selfishly because I don't want to go recruit anymore. So the people I have, I take care of like crazy. And I want to make sure that they stick around forever. Yeah. Because recruiting and training new staff is a pain in the ass. So from a leadership perspective, I think it's important, sure, lead by example. But these days, I would say transparency, vulnerability, openness, traits that you don't often hear, but these days is becoming more and more.
And you have to. If not, people can just kind of up and leave, and which is sometimes good, but sometimes you might nail that diamond in the rough. You want to hold on to them. So the vulnerability and the transparency, a lot of times will hold on to them. Man, I was just like you, like in 03, 04, and I was printing money. But bro, it was like I was losing people left and right. I was tyrant. I was like, and that's because I was mentored by a tyrant. Sam,
Bingo.
I love him,
dude. That's I don't like to use that as an excuse, but that's 100% how I learned. I didn't have experience prior to some guy teaching me how to be a leader.
Right, absolutely. So, you saw the movie Back to the Future?
Oh, who didn't?
All right, my man. So let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly. Let's go back to the 22-year-old Eric Silverman. What kind of knowledge nuggets, so we call him here at Time to Shine today, knowledge nuggets you dropping on him to maybe shorten his learning curve, blast through, and level up a little quicker?
Don't be a dick.
I love it. And listen, right? God gave you one mouth and two ears for a reason, man. Listen and be empathetic a little bit. That's probably what I'm hearing, right?
Yes.
I love it. So we talk a lot about the dash here at Time to Shine today. How do you want your dash remembered? That little mark. And by the way, I got the dash from Ray Lewis. I know you're not a football fan, but if you live in Baltimore,
I know Ray Lewis, sure.
Yeah. So that little line between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life and death date. How do you want Eric's dash remembered?
Genuine, passion, giver. I like to, and this is something that I will say I've always been, even in my early 20s, was, I like to give more than I receive. I just expect that when I do give, that it comes back in 10, 20 fold. Sure. Years ago, I expected that more than I should have. And if it didn't happen fast enough, that's where I became more of a tyrant. Nowadays, I just give and give and give. And whether or not anything happens, that's okay with me. There are people that I take care of to the nth degree all over the country that I don't even do business with, and I may never, and they're not even a prospect of mine. Sure. But I just enjoy the feeling of helping others. And, fortunately, the insurance employee benefits business has been good to myself and my family. We worked hard for it, but I have the opportunity to give back a bit.
I love it. Do you have kids and stuff?
I do.
Okay. How are you passing on those values to your children?
Literally showing them, as an example. We do things throughout the year, but every single year, in fact, we're proud of this. This we've been doing this for 6-7 years now. We go to local stores. We used to do the whole, I'll back up a second. We used to do the whole ask friends and family for toys and donations so we can all make one big thing for Christmas. But frankly, I just had no time for that. It got boring, and people will let you down when you say, will you give me one toy, please, to donate? Right. So I just said, forget it. I have some bucks. So we just take the kids to the store and we let them spend literally hundreds, and it's now turned into thousands of dollars, and they can't buy anything for themselves. And it went from toys to anything household related, from gloves and scarves and socks, you name it. And we just donate it to the homeless and folks in need every year. And this past year, 2020, in early December, we went on our shopping spree. We spent a record amount of money, and it wasn't a goal. It's not like we go in every year trying to beat. It was just my daughter said, can we do some things extra special this year? People are hurting more than usual. Wow.
For your daughter to say that, that's like kind of feeding off of pops there.
Yeah,
that's
I like
awesome.
to think so.
Congratulations on that.
Mom more than me, but
yeah, come on, dude. It's like we might be the head of the family, but the woman's the neck and they turn the head. So I feel you. Trust me, I lived that too. It's awesome. So Eric, if you built a lot, man, the past 21 years, bro. So if you were to lose everything, what's the first thing you would do to get back to rebuilding? What would that be?
If it was in the employee benefits and insurance world, if I wanted to stick with what I know, I would frankly just go back and do what I did 6-7 years ago when I branched off into a different line of the business because I'm enjoying myself. So it's interesting. I say this to folks that ask me, folks in my past life, in my former life, being that tyrant, people say, well, what's it like doing some different things? Still in the industry, but doing it differently. And I still tell them to this day, I'm like, if you value money more than time right now in your life, whoever's asking me, I tell them to keep doing what they're doing and burn themselves out or not. That's their call. I would make more new money right this moment if I went back to doing what they were doing, but I have no interest in that. So, I guess the answer is twofold. If I really just needed to make a lot of money, I'd go back to the old life. But ultimately, I'd much prefer to just start over with what I started 6-7 years ago when I rebuilt my agency.
Love it. I love it. And you build it also a lot with a servant's spirit. I'm saying that in air quotes if you're watching on YouTube.
Right.
Got it. So what keeps Eric up at night then?
What keeps me up at night? Not much. It's crazy. It used to be, artificial quotas and sales goals and make more. Gotta have more. But these days, quite candidly, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's really not much. Even when I have massive projects and clients going on and huge keynotes I'm preparing for nowadays, still virtual keynotes, and I'm doing a lot of projects. I sleep well because I don't have the pressure that I used to put on myself. At the end of the day, I'm very authentic and transparent with my clients. And I tell them, hey, we're going to get you something done. And if there's a challenge, we'll let you know. At the end of the day, we're all human and mistakes happen and we just have to roll with it.
Love it. And that's a transparent answer too. That's fantastic, man. So what is Eric's definition of a life well lived?
A life well lived. Again, it really 10 years ago would have been a different answer. Nowadays, it's still cliche, but nowadays it's family and success. And real quick, to be clear, I don't define success as how much money you're making. I define success as the life you're enjoying and are you doing what you want to do, right? Like it's easy to tell somebody, we hear this all the time. We tell people, if you're not happy with what you do, Gary Vee says, if you're not happy with what you do for a living, change it. You can change it, like switch careers. That's easier said than done. I love Gary Vee, but everybody knows it's easier said than done. Right. For me, I enjoy what I do. So therefore, that's a life well lived. My father worked for the government here in Maryland forever, made very little money, hated his job with a passion, always wanted to quit, came home miserable every night. I love my dad. If he listens to this, he'll agree with it. But he wasn't in a position mentally or financially where he could just up and quit. So he did what he had to do to provide.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, success is living the life that you want to live when you want to live it. And that's awesome. All right, we're going to move into our leveling up lightning round with my good friend, Eric Silverman from Voluntary Disruption, right when we get back from thanking our sponsors and affiliates. And hey, we are back with my good buddy, Eric Silverman from Voluntary Disruption. And Eric, we're going to move into the leveling up lightning round. All right. You got 5 seconds to answer the question. No explanations. We're just going to walk right through these. All right, brother?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's level up. What is the best leveling up advice Eric's ever received?
Don't stop doing what got you here in the first place with respect to career growth.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Passion and really living the business and life with purpose.
Love it. That purpose is key. Other than your own website, voluntarydisruption.com, and of course, timetoshinetoday.com, my shameless plug. What website do you like to go to level up?
I'm a big tech guy, so I like to see what's going on in the world, new innovations. So I like cnet.com, as crazy as that might sound.
No, that's legit. So if I'm in my doldrums, just not feeling it, got to get going, and you notice it, be like, Fergie, read this book. What's the book?
Oh, easy. Giftology by John Ruhlin, Giftology.
Friggin' book, dude.
Have you read it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've read it.
He's a good buddy. He's
Oh,
phenomenal.
really? Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. What's your most commonly used emoji?
Oh, dude, my daughter asked me this last night in the car, and for me, it is the muscle sign.
Muscle sign. My man. So, and don't freaking lie about this. Okay. What if you could be one age physically for the rest of your life with the knowledge you've acquired and still be able to acquire knowledge? What age would you be?
Oh, 29, buddy. Forever 29.
Dude, I always say 28 to 32, dude. That's my jam. So who's had one person that's had the biggest profound impact on Eric's life?
Wow. Personal would be my mom, and business-wise would be my uncle.
Beautiful. Favorite charity and or organization you give your time and or money to? You might have said this already, but...
Well, I didn't mention them, but yeah, the county I live in Maryland is Harford County, and we always donate to the Harford County Christmas Drive.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Last question, and you can elaborate on this one a little bit, but what's the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Oh, geez. It's embarrassing, but for me, I got to say the 90s.
90s? No, it's all good, man. I mean, all of them are great decades. I mean, I'm an 80s baby. So, I mean, Big hair, don't care, Run DMC.
It was a toss between 80s and 90s.
I mean, you get into the 90s, you got the garage bands, the grunge. It's like this freaking phenomenal music. Absolutely, brother. So tell us about the Rock Stars Rocking podcast, which I'm saying this subliminally. I hope I get an interview on.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like you started yours as a passion project. I've always had it on my list, but I never made time for it. It's not I don't have time. As we all know, it's you have to make time. Sure. And COVID pandemic allowed me to make time for it. So it's really #RockstarsRockin', rockstarsrockin.com. And it's really my dream was always just to interview folks who are rocking, crushing it, doing well in life, whether business, whether personal, interviewing, whether they be celebrity types, authors, industry, insurance people, doesn't matter. And I just had a blast doing it. We just dropped episode 25 straight weeks. We're not as rock star as you yet. We do one a week, but it's just fun. We don't have sponsors. It's really bite-sized pieces of information, 20-minute interviews in and out. And dude, I'm learning just by watching you interview me. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. So how else can we find you? VoluntaryDisruption.com is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, my social media platform of choice is LinkedIn, so follow or connect with me there. I'm pretty darn social. Yeah. Exactly. Instagram, rockstarsrockin.com, voluntarydisruption.com. Those are the best places. And my personal cell phone is on my website. That is me. I don't have a service. It's we're salespeople, or I'm a salesperson, so I don't hide my cell phone. Text me, call me, you name it.
I love that. So, and all that will be in the show notes, squad. So just go down there and check it out. Make sure you check out Rock Stars Rocking after this episode ends, of course. But leave us, Eric, if you don't mind, please leave us with one last knowledge nugget you want us to take with us, internalize, and take action
on. Just do it. Nike had it right, and they still have it right to this very day. There's never going to be perfect time. I got younger friends and family and people I meet who always ask me, geez, I'm thinking about doing this. I don't know if it's the right time. Well, that's just like when my wife and I said, hey, when are we going to get married? It's never going to be the right time. When do we have kids? Right. It's never going to be the right time. When do we start a business? It's never going to be the right time. Just put your big boy pants on and do it.
Yeah, do it. My mentor, which the other mentor that I respect also, you always said, do it scared. You know what I'm saying? Just do it, man. Just get out there and do it.
Fear is not a weakness.
No, it's not. Thrive on that fear, man. I learned that just with the stuff that operations I used to do in the Desert Storm and whatnot. And they kind of learned young, if you will, and moved forward. And squad, you just had like a free masterclass with my really good friend, Eric Silverman from Voluntary Disruption. He builds a company that helps round out the total employee benefits, the voluntary benefits like disability, life, dental, vision, etc. And they're voluntary enhanced benefits. Instead, from voluntary, Eric wants to transition that term to enhanced benefits instead of voluntary. Because I agree with him. Like voluntary, it's like you don't want to get the shit. because that would be volunteering for. These are enhanced benefits that will level up your life. He says a good leader values people and also has transparency and vulnerability. He would tell his younger self, and I would too, by the way, to don't be a dick. Be a little bit more empathetic. Listen to people. God gave you one mouth and 2 ears for a reason. Shut your mouth and learn from something. His dash is going to be remembered as someone that's genuine, passionate, and a giver. Very family oriented. What he does with his kids to go out to a store and buy stuff for other people, that is planting the seed of generosity. That is planting the seed of growing and being a progressive person in life. So his kids are going to grow up to rock just like he does. In success in Eric's life in his definition is live the life you want to live, when you want to live it, and how you want to live it. That's success, not so much the monetary and the money, but living your life. And he'll tell you, don't stop doing what got you here in the first place. You can always level up the aspects of it, but don't stop doing what you're doing. And also from a little bit of Phil Knight, the shoe dog himself, just do it. And that's what Eric does. He levels up his health, levels up his wealth, levels up his family life. He's humble yet hungry. Thank you so much for coming on, Eric. It was a blast. I'm completely blessed. Thank you again, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me, bud.
You bet.